Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our last small business seminar in our series this summer. It doesn't feel like summer outside as I'm looking at the rain, but thank you for joining us on this rainy Friday right before Memorial Day as we talk about business resources post-COVID. So we're almost there. I know June 11th has been the mask mandate is said it will be lifted. So I know that we're almost out of some of the changes that we've had to face the last several months, over a year. But we have really enjoyed this small business seminar series. Thank you to FNB for sponsoring that for us. It would not be possible without their partnership. So we greatly appreciate that. We have heard about marketing resources for your business. We've heard about customer service, how to provide great service with a smile. We heard about human resources. As small businesses, we don't always have those resources or those departments. And so we had human resources professionals share with us some great best practices and tips on how to better our business. And today we're going to talk about business resources and non-traditional type funding options. And I know the SBDC is here to talk about resources that they have, and then Chris Woldridge with Murray State. But before we get started, I would like to welcome Amy Futrell, who's here representing FNB, to tell us a little bit about the bank and why you're supporting small business seminars.
Good morning, everyone. I am Amy Futrell, and I'm the Callaway County Market President for FNB Bank. And we are so excited to have all of you here with us today. While we would love to do this in person, at least we have a virtual option so that we can still conduct and have these seminars. As Michelle stated, there have been several seminars already, and those are all recorded. So I hope you will go back and watch each one of those. But I think today you will be thrilled with the resources that this panel is going to provide for some other lending options, and that's an exciting topic. FNB Bank is honored and very thrilled to be able to sponsor these, as we love our small businesses in our communities, and we are looking at any way to help you that we can. So I'm going to turn it back over to Michelle. She's going to introduce the panel, and we appreciate your attendance today.
Thank you, Amy. We appreciate that, and thank you for joining us this morning. So we have a great panel here with some great experience to share all their wisdom with us this morning. We have Lori Knoll, Aaron Harned, and Chris Woldridge. And Lori's going to kick us off this morning, so I'm going to share a little bit about each one before they start. Lori has over 28 years experience in banking. She currently serves as Executive Vice President and Chief Lending Officer for FNB Bank. The majority of her career has been focused on commercial and agriculture lending. She's a 1992 graduate of Marshall County High School and attended Murray State University. Go Racers! She's a graduate of the Southeastern School of Advanced Commercial Lending and Kentucky Bankers Association General Banking School. She's enrolled in the Graduate School of Banking Wisconsin for the 2021-2023 program. Lori has previously served on the Junior Achievement of Callaway County Board, and as a board member, treasurer for Callaway County Live Well Booster Club, and is a former Rotary member. Her and her family reside in Kirksey. So to kick us off this morning, we want to welcome Lori Knoll.
Good morning. My name is Lori Knoll, and I have the privilege of serving as Chief Lending Officer of FNB Bank. One of our primary focuses as a community bank is finding solutions for our small business clients to help them succeed in their respective businesses, whether it is purchasing a business, assets, funding working capital, or working through cash flow needs. Now more than ever, small businesses are looking to work through non-traditional options or looking outside the box for funding options in order to meet their business needs. Every business must be evaluated independently to consider options that maximize their cash flow, assets, and help them work through unprecedented times as a result of the COVID pandemic. In 2020, many small businesses were introduced to SBA through the Paycheck Protection Program loans, as well as the Economic Injury Disaster loans. While these programs were vital for our small businesses, many owners have never looked beyond traditional bank financing. Our goal today is to provide an overview of many of the programs and resources available either through your local lender or local organizations. Awareness of alternative financing options positions small business owners to have discussions about their business operations and find a solution that best fits their need. Today, working through some of these programs, I just wanted to hit some highlights of some of the SBA loans that are out there and available, as well as some of the resources that Chris and Aaron will also be speaking about. Through the Small Business Administration, there are several different programs that many of you all have heard, as we mentioned, through the PPP program, the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, and Shuttered Venue Grants. SBA has many other options available, as well as our local Purchase Area Development District, USDA, Farm Service Agency, and the Kentucky Office of Ag Policy. Some common concerns with SBA lending have been fees and processing time, understanding the program and requirements, because it can be intimidating working through those programs. Business plans, which I know Chris and Aaron will speak much more in depth on, as well as financial concerns and distress. Working through those programs, right now, SBA has temporarily waived the majority of the bank and borrower fees on programs for any loans that are approved through the end of September. So from a cost perspective, now is as critical of a time to look at applying for an SBA type loan if that fits your business needs versus waiting until a later date. From a processing standpoint, we do encourage you to start early. Utilize financial institutions that are familiar and well-versed in these related programs to help expedite your process and work through other resources as available. Understand the programs and requirements and ask questions. Do some of your own research, at least go to the SBA site and become familiar with some of the terminology. So when you're talking with your lender, then you understand what they are talking about as far as different requirements, terms, and so forth. From a business plan and startup standpoint, business plans can be utilized in a couple of different perspectives, both for startups or for distressed businesses. We do speak a little bit about the distressed businesses because, unfortunately, we have all experienced significant downturn in the economy and the market working through these last few months from a COVID perspective. The key on that is communicate with your lender, communicate with other resources as available, whether it's peers, see what common concerns are coming up in your business options, and be open to alternative financing options within your company. To touch quickly on some SBA programs, and you all will have access to this PowerPoint, I just wanted to touch a little bit on the most common programs. Right now we have the 7A. An advantage with the 7A is you do work directly with your financial institution. There are, depending on your financial institution's ability, you can do express loans up to $1 million, which that has been temporarily increased also through the end of September. 7A loans can be used for purchase, expansion, or refinancing of projects. Refinance has been relatively new to SBA in recent years, so that is something that is an option if you are needing to take equity out of your business for cash out, or you're needing to extend your repayment terms to help with cash flow. There are some options to consider through the SBA refinance option. One of the primary reasons SBA is critical for a lot of our businesses is it can allow options for a lower down payment, as little as 10%. Also, you can look at extended repayment terms, whether it be for an equipment loan and or a real estate loan. Another common option is 504. This is a loan option that is usually partnered through an SBA option through a community development center. It is a joint financing option with your financial institution and SBA. One of the primary benefits, again, a down payment can be as low as 10 to 15%, depending on the type of use of your or type of business. Extended repayment terms are available, but also some long-term competitive rates on the SBA portion. For example, right now for an SBA 504, the long-term rates can be as long as 20 to 25 years and are currently running in the high 2s and the low 3s. So that can really help from a cash flow standpoint on your business and protecting on interest rate risk. Other SBA programs that are available are export working capital programs and the express loans as well, and international trade. So if you do have a line in your business that works with international trade or exporting, there are also some additional options available through that program. The general eligibility requirements, or I'm sorry, from a benefit standpoint, the reason SBA is a benefit to the clients and to business owners is it will incent financial institutions to offer more competitive terms, whether it is longer repayment terms, lower down payment options, or a combination of. Another benefit is the counseling and education that is available through these types of programs. They do require business plans in most cases, but the benefit, again, that Chris and Erin will touch on, can be for financial planning or marketing, competitor analysis, and industry analysis that you may not have access to. So it can help you work through those aspects of your business model. General eligibility requirements have been listed, but basically for-profit businesses, you do have to demonstrate a need for a loan. So it's something that it does need to be talked through with your financial institution. Has to be considered a small business as defined by SBA, and there are specific guidelines based off of industry requirements for number of employees and average annual receipts. There are also ineligible businesses that basically if your business relations are in lending activities, so other financial institutions, for instance, would be ineligible, gambling, loan packaging, things along that line. So all of this information is available on the website for SBA.org, or you may also refer to this. From an eligible use of funds, long-term and short-term working capital, this can be in the form of amortizing loans and or revolving facility for lines of credit. Purchase of equipment, machinery and equipment, supplies, materials, all different aspects that can affect your businesses can be structured through the SBA programs. From a term perspective, again, variable and fixed rate options are available. The 504 does offer longer term fixed rate options. There are caps available of up to $5 million loans. Maximum maturity, we can go up to 25 years on real estate and 10 years for equipment. That can be a much more extended term than what your financial institution may be able to offer under traditional financing. Other areas that are available also as a subset of SBA are through USDA programs. Our Purchase Area Development District currently serves our market and offers several programs that are available through the SBA as well. One program in particular I will mention because of the timing aspect of it and also the dollar figure is the Micro Loan Fund. Those are loans up to $50,000, have purposes for rebuilding, reopening, enhancing or improving your business model. If you're needing to purchase furniture, fixtures, supplies, anything along that line, there are some options available. And Mike Maxwell and Stacy Smith of our local PAD office out of the Mayfield location would be your contacts for those programs. Other options for some larger developments would be through rural development, through both a business and industry loan, and there are also rural energy grants that are available. Listed Robbie Fauser-Fink. She is our contact that we typically would utilize through these programs. Again, you can also contact your local lender for some information on that. I want to touch just real briefly before I turn it over to Chris and to Erin, and because we do have a large part of our industry covers in the ag services and ag producers. I'm not going to go through all of these in particular, but as an ag producer, there are lots of options available through the Farm Service Agency. Those can be available either through a guaranteed loan through your lender and or through direct loans. These can serve for beginning farmer programs for purchasing land. There are also programs available for operating and also specialty programs that are listed through minority and women farmers, youth loans, micro loans, and emergency loans. For the purpose of this call, I did want to touch a little bit about the Kentucky Office of Ag Policy because they have a lot of programs that are available not only for producers, but also for agri-related businesses. So again, being aware of some of these resources and just the contacts that are out there and available will help with your business options to ask questions and look beyond the traditional financing options. In summary, just communicate with your loan officer. Be open to new or alternative financing options because unfortunately, it's not a one-size-fits-all that we are all so accustomed to from years ago on financing. Make sure that you are aware of your options to be able to best suit your business needs. We appreciate your time today. And as always, if you have any questions, I serve both out of the Murray and Mayfield in all of our markets. And Amy Futrell, that introduced earlier, is our Callaway County Market President that also is available to answer any questions. Chris and Aaron, I will turn over to you.
Thank you, Lori. I'm going to introduce our next panelist. I guess paper, rock, scissors for who goes next, but I'm going to let it be Aaron so that Chris, the ornery one, can be last. But I really appreciate those resources, Lori, and that's very helpful for a business as they are searching for different lending options. But Aaron Harnett is from Paducah, Kentucky, which is also where my hometown, and has a bachelor's degree in agriculture from Western Kentucky University, which we won't hold against you here. He grew up in a small business family and has worked in his family's restaurant, Harnett's Drive-In, for 19 years, where the past 10 years he worked as the manager. Great food, great barbecue, great ham. I'm just going to plug that in for you as well. In that time, Aaron had numerous friends ask his advice about their own businesses and always enjoyed helping them. He's excited to join the Kentucky SBDC team and to help Kentucky's small businesses grow and thrive. In his free time, he enjoys spending time with his family, fishing, and attending livestock shows. He is also an avid Kentucky basketball fan. So we are happy to have you here this morning, Aaron, and I will turn it over to you.
Thanks so much, Michelle. I appreciate the opportunity to come and talk and give you guys an idea of what kind of assistance we can offer at the Small Business Development Center. Like Lori said, you know, a lot of times these non-traditional financing programs come with some coaching or some business planning kind of requirements that come along with them. We want to make sure that you know here at the Small Business Development Center, we're here to help. So over the last year, we've had the opportunity to expand the Small Business Development Center a little bit and bring on some new coaches. And I'm one of those fairly new coaches to the network. And we're able to expand our capacity up to where we have about 35 coaches located across the state in 17 different centers. And the Small Business Development Center is a program that's funded in part by the Small Business Administration, as well as partnership dollars from across the state that allow us to provide services to small business owners or potential small business owners at no cost because those services have already been paid for. So at the Small Business Development Center, we're here as a completely no cost confidential resource for businesses really in any phase of the business life cycle. You know, if someone's starting a business, you know, looking to fund a business or an expansion, you know, just whatever phase they are in the business life cycle, we're here to assist with that process and kind of coach them through, because we know that small business ownership can sometimes be a little bit lonely, and sometimes you feel like you're going it alone, and that's not necessary at all. We're more than happy to help and walk through the journey with you. So when I talk about the Small Business Development Center, there's usually 5 things I like to hit on, kind of the 5 topics that we like to focus on. And the first thing is one-on-one business coaching. So like I said, you know, we're here to help in any phase of small business. If you're looking to start a small business and looking at feasibility and planning and developing projections and a business plan, we're here to help with that. You know, if you're looking to expand a project, if you're in a distressed situation and need assistance, just whatever the phase that a small business owner is in, we're happy to help with that. After the one-on-one business coaching, the next thing that kind of goes along with that is helping small business owners access capital. So putting together loan packages and preparing, you know, something that a small business owner can take to a lender and feel confident about and know thoroughly that the project that they're looking to fund is reasonable and feasible and can be successful for their small business. Another thing we provide to small business owners at no cost is market research. We have several resources for market research and are able to provide those things to our clients at no cost. We do some national industry-wide reports. We also have resources to really drill down into local markets and help develop demographics, you know, an idea of what the local market demographics look like, what the local competition landscape looks like. So that way small business owners can really understand the market that they're in and how to be successful. We also try to make impactful resource referrals. You know, when you come to me at the SBDC, you get the benefit of not just working with me, but working with all the coaches in the SBDC. We have a really collaborative network that works together well on things. And when I don't have the answer to a question, I first take it back to the other coaches And, we try to source an answer, and I'm more than happy to bring in coaches with more experience in certain topics. And if nobody in our network has a great answer or experience in the area, we try to find somebody to connect a business owner with. There's no situation where a business owner is going to come to me with a problem and I'm just going to say, no, we don't have the answer and turn them away. We're always going to find a way to connect business owners with the resources that they need. And then the last thing I like to talk about is the training that we offer. So since the start of the pandemic, we've really pivoted to move all of our training into online capacity. And what we've done is we have a weekly, regularly scheduled webinar that we record and archive on our website. So we've built a pretty thorough library of recorded webinars that are kind of focused on existing business owners. In the beginning of the pandemic, they were very focused on how to pivot your business and be successful under the restrictions and what you can do, and PPP and EIDL and those kinds of things. But now, as we're kind of moving towards reopening, we're trying to focus those webinars more on how business owners can improve their business model, optimize their situation, and put themselves in a position to succeed. So I'd highly recommend that you go to our website. It's KentuckySBDC.com. Check out our archive webinar library. And then additionally, you'll find our training schedule up there. So all of our webinars for the future are also on the training schedule. So you can look over those and kind of see what we have going on and sign up for the ones that would benefit you the most. But more than anything, I want you to know that here in the Paducah Center, I'm more than happy to help business owners, like I said, at any phase of the business life cycle. Chris and I have started to develop a relationship where the two of us can work really collaboratively, and we just want to see businesses in the region thrive and be successful. So more than anything, go to our website, KentuckySBDC.com. You'll find my contact information there. Feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email. I'll be more than happy to set up a time to talk with you and see what we can do to help your situation and make your business more successful. But thanks again, Michelle, for including me. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I'm excited about helping businesses in the Murray-Callaway area.
Thank you again, Aaron. I really appreciate that. We're definitely taking notes, and we're going to be sharing a lot of the SBDC resources on our website as well, because you never know where the first person may land for those resources. But that marketing research or market research is really important for a business. Maybe you're wanting to expand your product offering or decide on a new location. And so those demographics and critical information would be really helpful for a business. And sometimes they may not know that those are available at their fingertips. So appreciate that resource. And if we have anyone that has and needs any further assistance, we will definitely reach out to them for you as well. So thank you so much for being here this morning. Our next speaker is Chris Wooldridge, which I think a lot of us are very familiar with. He serves as an instructor in the College of Business here at Murray State University in the areas of finance, banking, and economic development. He also serves as the director of the Center for Economic and Entrepreneurial Development in a regional outreach capacity, connecting community and campus seeking to develop student academic learning opportunities, as well as create jobs and wealth to improve the economic conditions in the region. Previously served as the district director of the Murray State University Small Business Development Center, providing business consulting and training services to pre-venture and existing businesses throughout Western Kentucky. In addition, he managed regional outreach as well as the operations and staff of the two main regional centers to ensure delivery of business consulting services throughout 24 counties of Western Kentucky. He's a former entrepreneur with over 25 years of experience in banking and financial services, and he and his wife reside here in Murray, Kentucky. So I'm going to turn it over now to Mr. Wooldridge.
Adita, can you hear me okay?
There we go. Now.
Okay. I'm on this machine that seems to keep hitting this button, so I apologize. But again, thank you so much, Michelle and Amy and Lori, for the opportunity to speak this morning. And it's great to be here on another call and celebrating small businesses and really celebrating the region and the success. And I just want to give a shout out to all of you who are listening, that your chamber is one of your most important resources that you have as a small business owner. And I encourage you to look at the chamber if you're not already a member, and seriously consider being a chamber member. chambers act as activists and catalysts for the growth of small businesses and business and industry, and support not just their membership, but the organization, other organizations that support their membership. And chamber success and growth and vitality is super important to a region growing. So again, these kinds of training opportunities, whether they're Zoom, in person, however, are so important. And again, thank you, Michelle, and your team for all the work that you have put together. And thank you, Lori and Amy, for your sponsorship. I just want to echo some of what Aaron said. I've taken some good notes, and I want to make sure that I'm not repeating what he said in terms of what we share in offerings to our region. I think that some of what Aaron is sharing and some of what you'll see through this presentation and other presentations is that really all of us are here to help business and industry be successful and entrepreneurs be successful. We may not all have all the answers all the time, but we have a great network. We have a great set of resources. We know people, I guess we can say. And I try to approach this, and I think all of us do in West Kentucky, that we don't have a wrong door for someone to go through to try to find those resources. So if someone comes through my door and I don't necessarily have the answer or the resource, or it's better delivered through someone else for the benefit of the client, I'm going to reach out to that resource. And as Aaron said, we've developed a very good relationship of communication and working together, and I look to continue that with all of the network consultants in the SBDC, as well as other resources in SCORE, contacts with SBA, USDA. The important thing is that no matter what door someone who wants to start a business, stabilize their operation, grow their operation, expand their operation, no matter what door they come through, we have to feel like there's a comfort level that they're going to get to the folks they need to get to. And so not having a resource is very rare, given the number of players that play in this market and the resources that are available. So having said that, the Center for Economic and Entrepreneur Development is an outreach program here at Murray State. We started in 2019, kicking off really in September of 2019. And as we all know, that was just a little bit of time before the COVID virus started to really impact the following quarter and the first quarter of 2020. So rolling out the information about the center has been a challenge, but it's been a great challenge, and I've enjoyed the opportunity to spread the word about the program. As an outreach, we work with pre-venture and existing businesses, as I mentioned. We also look for ways to connect the community and the different colleges and the universities in the university's wide footprint throughout all of West Kentucky. We cover basically 24 counties, so from Owensboro to Fulton. Everything on this side of 431, Highway 431, we deliver services and assistance. What specifically do we do? Well, business plans. As Aaron said, we work with Aaron and others on how we can work through business plan development. It's a learning process for entrepreneurs, and we're excited to work with those entrepreneurs as they understand more and more about their business and more and more about the industry that they're in as they begin to get into that industry. Also with existing businesses, there's never a bad time to do a business plan. Whether you're already in business or maybe things have really changed in your business over the last 12, 18 months, it's time to refresh that business plan. It's a great opportunity to come and look at that plan and work through that. Financial projections, we work with a lot of companies in developing those. We also work with bankers and other financial institutions for our clients. I think that's one of the great things, that as your partners, we're able to have those conversations with folks that are also working on your behalf. So in working through business plans, financial projections, even marketing and other areas that the business is seeking assistance, being able to talk to those other resources is important. So we at the center also try to be a connector, if you will, for those resources. As I mentioned earlier, if we don't have that expertise, or if we don't have that resource available, we're going to make sure that we make that connection. The confidentiality and sharing of that information is super important to us as well. Everything you share with us stays with us unless you choose otherwise. So if we're going to be working with Lori or some other lender, unless you share that approval that it's okay to work with them, we're not having that conversation. So please rest assured that the partners that you work with are seeking that confidentiality very rigorously to make sure that we're being respectful of your information. Just to build a little bit on what Lori said in terms of all of the programs that are available, I think what an excellent PowerPoint. Thank you so much for doing that presentation, Lori. That was really well laid out, and it really covered a lot of the different bases, the different avenues in which funding and financing can be made available to you. You saw tremendous programs that the SBA has made available. We work very extensively with 7A programs, 504 programs, and the important thing to reiterate what Lori said, SBA's relationship is with the bank. And so SBA doesn't work to get between you and your banker. And so that relationship that you have with your bank is super key. It's super important and is going to be maintained. We work with the client's bankers with that in mind, that we are working with the client's banker to try to be successful in preparing the business plan and the other documents that SBA is seeking, so that SBA can issue that approval, issue that guarantee, which is Uncle Sam co-signing that note and helping reduce the risk to the bank that allows them to close the deal. SBA is a great resource, so many different programs. USDA, tremendous program as well. We are currently working with a number of clients looking at those different USDA programs in supporting rural farms, rural ag businesses, and rural businesses in general. USDA has a number of programs that really are timely at this point in time, as Lori mentioned, and we'd want to be sure and look at those. And FSA as well. FSA brings programs together. I think, again, the important thing for you to take away from this is that there are great resources. Don't be afraid to ask for those resources. As many of us in the financing side have seen before, financing opportunities come and go. Programs change. USDA changes their programs, not tremendously, but there could be programs that come in that are short-lived or really are rifle shot opportunities for certain situations. SBA, again, it has a pretty core set of programs that it's going to offer from a guarantee side, and then it's going to add things as necessary and take those away when time changes, like the PPP, the EIDL. Those programs weren't in existence really before 2020 to the extent that they are now, and will probably start to throttle back, hopefully, as the economy generates more jobs and more opportunities, and the need for those programs starts to go away. But that being said, those change. And so you don't necessarily know today what tomorrow's programs might look like, and you don't know what programs that are today will survive 6 months to a year out. So those are constantly changing. And the benefit of having resources like your bankers, the Purchase Area Development District, the other area districts in our state, having Aaron, having other folks that are engaged in this field, staying current with those and working together help make those available, so that when the client comes in, again, wherever that door is, they're getting the most accurate information that can be obtained, or you're working with folks that can find out that information, can chase down that SBA program, that USDA program, et cetera. So that's very important. Just a couple of comments as I wrap up a little bit and hopefully leave some time for questions. I'm trying not to be too ornery so I don't get kicked off the video, Michelle, but we do work with distressed companies as well. We have seen a large increase in the number of companies that are trying to work through the challenges that COVID has brought to their business, but also normal times, whatever normal is, whatever new normal is going to be. The economy ebbs and flows. It has peaks and valleys. And so all businesses are going to have situations where they're riding the stormy seas of the economy or the calm waters of the economy. And so some companies take on water, and we try to help them bail that water out, try to figure out how we can fix a company and make that company do what the owners want it to do and meet the goals of that. So we do work with troubled companies, distressed companies. One other thing I want to mention is about hemp. We have continued to see increase Speaking of ebbs and flows in the market, I get a number of questions during the week still. Is hemp legal? Can we still work with hemp? Yes, hemp is legal. The SBA and USDA and the Economic Development Agency, EDA, all have started to really open up more and be more comfortable with working on those projects. So if you're a company that is working with hemp, please feel free to reach out to us and let us help you get through that as well. We have a Center for Agricultural Hemp here at Murray State. Dr. Brandon and Dr. Parr have created that center, and it has been a tremendous resource in the region and has been a tremendous resource to the College of Business as well in helping us help agribusiness. Both the Hudson School of Ag and the Byron Fine College of Business working very closely together because, as Lori mentioned, some of her finance DNA is in ag. Ag is a huge economic developer for West Kentucky, and so we can't lose sight of our farms and our ag businesses as well. So with that, my contact information, cwooldridge@murraystate.edu. My telephone number, 809-2495. It's not too hard to find me. Michelle has plenty of contact information in what I've just given you. Please feel free to go on the Murray State website. You can go under People Finder and find me fairly easily. So with that, I want to say thank you again. Thank you for a great opportunity. I so enjoy working with all of the partners on this call and other partners throughout the region and helping all of us be successful and grow the economy that we want West Kentucky to be. So with that, thank you, Michelle, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Chris. And one thing I wrote down that you had mentioned is we know people. And, that's a lot of our job is building those networks, connecting with one another, helping inform one another so that no matter which door somebody walks through, whether it's Murray State's door first or our door first or, FMB's door first, that we all can connect with each other and help get people the resources that they need. So I love that you mentioned that. And that's what we're here for, is to connect you with resources that you need or the people that you need to do business. I'm going to go off script a little bit, kind of off. I know, right? I saw Chris's face there. So one concern, I know you guys know how important small businesses are for our community. You are on the end trying to help the business owner. We have had multiple calls from our business owners about the, online shopping and the competition, people asking for donations for their this, that, and the other. And they don't, they're struggling in their business and it's really hard for them to support whenever they're needing support. So in this environment we have right now, that's, businesses are kind of struggling to hire people. They're also trying to provide the service that we're used to. Can you just remind those listening and those that will listen to this, how important small businesses are in our community and how important it is to shop with them, to use them for services before you go online and before you go out of town? So who wants to tackle that this morning, or who wants to go first?
Well, I'll jump in because I'm not tremendously bashful. I think it's extremely important. I am working with 3 businesses right now on this side of the lakes and about 5 businesses on the other side of the lake that are looking at closing. They are closing for a couple of reasons. One is they can't find employees, and the second is that this last 12 months has really driven folks out of necessity to online shopping. And there's nothing wrong with online shopping. I encourage our small businesses to have an online presence to be able to facilitate online shopping. But not everything that we do in our community, from acquiring goods and services, is online possible. I know it seems like I probably do haircuts every once in a while. I got to, cut these 6 or 7 hairs that I still have left. Can't do that online. Where am I going to get those? The support to the small businesses is super key. We need that. Those businesses operate on cash flow just like any other business operates on cash flow. And cash flow comes from sales. And so I personally make a very concerted effort to look at what I can buy in my community, in my region, and in West Kentucky before I go outside. Those dollars feed our local businesses. They have bills to pay, feed kids, and make donations. And so while we appreciate our big industries. We appreciate our big support. We need to look also at what give back to the community comes from that relationship. And while I can't buy everything I want to buy necessarily in the community, I can pretty much get most of what I want in the region, which helps us. If I'm buying in Murray or Paducah or Madisonville, that's a lot better than money going outside of the community. So again, this is kind of one of my soapboxes. So I'm gonna throttle back and say it's extremely important, because I'm working with businesses right now that are suffering from that not being the case for them.
I would definitely echo what Chris said. In my previous experience before I came to SBDC, being a small business family and growing up in small business, I can say that community support of a small business is so important. And even beyond just individuals supporting, but if you're in a capacity in your business to support other small businesses, absolutely do so. It always meant so much to us at the restaurant when other local businesses would use us in any way that we could be of service. If it was catering an event they were having, if they bought gift cards from us to give to their employees as some kind of prize package, but not only just individually supporting, small businesses in your community, but if you have a capacity as a business owner to support another small business, please do so. It means a lot when the community supports you, but when other small business owners in the community, step up and say, "Hey, I see the importance of your small business. We're in this together, and I want to support you." That means so much. Just in my experience as a small business, as part of a small business family, that always meant the most when other business owners stepped up and said, "Hey, we see what you're doing. You're not in this alone. We're in this together." And that's how local economies thrive. So, exactly what Chris said, the more you pour into your local businesses on an individual basis or on a business basis or in any way possible, sometimes you see that thing that floats around the internet. It doesn't cost anything to share a Facebook post. It doesn't cost anything to leave a review about your local small businesses on Google. Those things can be highly impactful for small businesses, help to increase their digital marketing opportunities, and really make them successful. So absolutely, on an individual basis or a business basis, try to put small businesses in your community first.
I think just to echo a little bit on Chris and Aaron, and I'm not going to repeat what they've said, but just take it back to the other perspective is also going back to our ag communities and our ag families. They are small businesses as well. And I think sometimes we lose sight of the fact that our farm related businesses and producers are actually small business, whether it is the farmers market or whether it is the stands that are set up. When you recognize those as being local community farms, support those. Those are very key, whether it's putting fresh food on the table for your families, going especially through the summer months, and supporting those vegetable and fruit growers as well.
All great thoughts from you all. And, I know it's been a really tough season for our businesses. And, here at the Chamber, our business success means our success. So I know we're all in this together, and all of our resources through the past year are really to help businesses grow. Is there a certain question or maybe a specific thing that you're seeing right now businesses come and ask, or you see any kind of themes that maybe from this past year that you could share with us before we close this morning?
I'll just share one quick thought back to the presentation a little bit, and I know Chris touched on it a little bit as well. Communication cannot be stressed enough. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be shy. Don't be wait too long to go talk to other resources or your lender. We recognize that small businesses have been very challenged over the last several months through this COVID time. Our goal is to do anything we can from a financial institution standpoint to help these businesses stay in business and to work out options. We're not going to tell you there may not be scenarios where that's not going to be feasible, but talk early while these programs are available and whilst SBA has given the banks some leeway as far as the terms and conditions and fees along that line. Talk early and try to work out a plan very early in the process, whether it is through reduced revenues or whether it's an issue with managing expenses and employees. Can't help on the employee count, but just trying to work through those challenges though. bring in those resources and ask early. That would be the main recommendation that we would have and from what we see. Don't wait till it gets to the point of desperation.
Yeah, I'll just echo that as someone that works with troubled companies and having done that both as a banker as well as in this role. You must have communication with the people who control your debt. If you don't, they will control you in a way that you don't necessarily want that to happen. And that's kind of a blunt, but with some of the companies that I'm working with now, you know, I've walked in and met with these folks and they're, you know, we're close to foreclosure. Really? When was the last time you talked with your bank? When was the last time you picked up the phone and called your guarantee agency or worked with your lender? Oh, well, we didn't want them to know. Look, they know it. Okay. They know the day after you didn't make the payment. So whether you're missing interest payments or you're servicing debt, or if you're not submitting the financial statements that you should so that the bank can track per the loan covenants, they don't not know that. They know that. And so put yourself in the bank's position. If you were owed a lot of money and all of a sudden the payment stopped and all communication stopped, what would you think? So in working with those companies, again, just to echo Lori, not to re-drill this well, but that's the first thing we do is we reach out to the banks. We reach out to those lenders of those troubled companies and say, look, you've got someone working with you. Let's have a conversation. Here's where we are. Don't let the door closing be the first time you've seen the banker. You have to build that trust. And at some point you're going to get through this and you need that trust and that relationship on the good side as well. So again, just to echo that, Lori, didn't mean to repeat what you said, but it's so important.
We're seeing a lot of business owners that we're trying to work with on optimizing their business model based on the pivots they've made through COVID. You know, I won't say that there's positives that come out of COVID, but there definitely are opportunities where business owners have really pivoted their business and kind of taken it in a different direction, whether it's an online component or something different that they've done, offered some kind of different product or service during COVID. But we're trying to work with business owners on navigating how to integrate those positive changes that have come out of that pivot into their old business model. So, you know, when the restrictions are lifted and things kind of get back to normal, you know, we hear the term new normal a lot, but let's make sure that any positives that we did see, any opportunities for increased revenue or increased sales, or how we you know, optimize our cash flow through better cash management when we had reduced sales. Let's take those things and apply them to what our old business model was and have a business that's even more successful coming out of the pandemic based on what we've learned. So that's something we're really trying to navigate with business owners and help them to realize, you know, when things go back to normal, don't just drop everything you've learned. Let's take the positives out of that and really put you in a position to succeed as things open back up.
I like that thought. You know, I think a lot of businesses had to, like you said, pivot and adapt and maybe integrate some changes that they never would have. And now they may be new normals, or they may have a completely different business model moving forward. So I really like that. You mentioned that, and, you know, I know a lot of questions have come in from Haley and I about integrating online presence, you know, ramping up your Facebook presence. And, you know, we try to encourage businesses to, whenever they couldn't open, you know, get in there and show people what you have, you know, go online. And I think that some of those things will stay around. You know, I think as consumer confidence is still, we're still chipping away at that. I think over time, I think that the online presence or the use of social media sales will continue for a business model. So we are at the end. Any other thoughts or questions or advice you have this morning before we say goodbye?
In being shy, I'll jump out there and just say thank you all so much for pulling this together. Michelle, you and your team do a great job and a great service for Maury and Callaway County. And I know that you've had the best interests of all the businesses in the area, and you've worked really hard to be successful for them and their success. So thank you for all that you've done. And Lori and Amy, thank you again for making this possible and sponsoring this. Sponsorships are so important to getting these kinds of messages out and getting these kinds of sessions out. And your participation is just so important. Aaron, thank you as well. It's a pleasure. I'm looking forward to working with you as hopefully the summer continues to open us up and we see some more clients that we're able to to help together. So with that, thank you. And Murray State is here to support you. Murray State is your university. Please know that it's here to support you.
And thank you for the opportunity. We appreciate the opportunity every time Michelle contacts us about sponsoring the small business. Small business is very key and very important to us as an organization. So anything we can do, we appreciate that.
I just want to thank you all again. As kind of the new kid on the block, and as I've navigated trying to get the information about SBDC out during the pandemic, it's been a little bit difficult. But I really appreciate the partnership with the Murray Callaway Chamber and how helpful Michelle's been with that. I really appreciate Chris and the work we've done together. And even if nothing, if your business is not distressed, if things are going fine, it's never a bad idea to come and talk with somebody about your business and get an extra set of eyes on it. So feel free to contact me, contact Chris. Like you said, there's no wrong door to go through. Just make sure that you're not trying to go it alone, because small business ownership can be difficult enough. You definitely don't want to have to navigate it by yourself.
Excellent advice from 3 professionals in our region. So we really appreciate all of you being here this morning. And like they said, if you, after listening to this, need some assistance or need some resources, please reach out to one of us. I know on our website, www.mymurray.com, we have a whole business resources page with their contact information, videos, and lots of resources. So don't go at it alone. We're in this together, and we're here to support you because your success is our success. So with that, we want to say have a great day, have a great Memorial Day weekend, and we will see you next time. I think our next event will be in person, which is really exciting, at our Business at Breakfast in September. So we have a little bit of a break, but we hope you have a great summer, and we will see you back soon. Thank you, guys.